Welcome to Beyond the Baller podcast. I'm Tam, that's Dale. We are sponsored by Alan Mackay Plumbing and Heating. Thanks very much for Alan for sponsoring us. And thank you to all of the watchers and listeners of us two trying to put things right regarding Scottish youth football. Whether we put them right or not is another matter. But we'll try and discuss the hot topics. So we need to discuss straight off the bat the previous episode and the clip regarding world-class Kenny Dalglish. You take us up for there. How good was the response?
It was mixed. It was definitely mixed. It got misinterpreted. I think naturally it would, because people maybe think I was slagging Scottish professional football players, which wasn't the case at all. We made a comment that we haven't seen a world-class player in Scotland since Kenny Dalglish. We're obviously going to go into that. Mm-hmm. But I still stand by what I said, because I don't think that it worries me it's taken that long to Scotland to produce someone. And now we've spoken, Andy Robertson, we're going to get onto all this. But And there's a lot of comments made about current players, so your Billy Gilmores, Scott McTominay's. But to put them in a world-class bracket was a big statement. I think I can give a good definition of world-class.
Go on then, you tell me what world-class is.
I would say a definition of a world-class player is in their prime. Do they walk into any team in Europe and make them better?
So any top team in Europe?
Any team.
Any team in Europe?
Any team in Europe and make them better. So right now, let's say your top 5 teams in Europe: PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City maybe. Let's say Bayern Munich, in my opinion. They're probably your top 5, right? Does Scott McTominay walk into any of them 5 teams and make them better in centre midfield? Okay.
Good argument, and no doubt we'll get some feedback on that, even the definition of what we're saying. Yep, and that's good. I've done a wee bit of analysis on some of the feedback that we've got. So some of the names, the names that stood out for us when we listed them, and my view of world class is in their time at their peak, do they push any of the top 5 players in the world? And that's obviously opinionated as well, who the top 5 are. So we'll go through some of the examples in a minute, but do they push anybody out of that list that we're talking about? So we'll go through them. We'll go through them quickly, because I know we're talking about youth football, but obviously it blew up, so why not go here? Scott McTominay. Is he better than Rodri, Bellingham, Pedri, Odegaard or Vitinha?
No.
Okay. That stands for, because there's centre midfielders. John McGinn, better than any of the 5 that I mentioned?
No.
Okay. Andy Robertson, right now, probably wouldn't be classed in the top 5 left backs in the world. Probably, just generally speaking. But I think in his prime, 2019, 2021, that period, he probably was in the top 5 left backs in the world. So we'd probably define him in that bracket.
I think top 3.
Top 3?
I think I got that wrong. I think in his top 3, for 3 years, I think he was one of the top 3 left backs in the world at that time. However, I don't think he's had longevity in terms of years played where he was world class, and people could throw that Michael Owen comment in. Mm-hmm. That was through injury.
Yeah,
I mentioned Michael Owen would, in my opinion, we would have put him up there with R9 if he didn't get injured. In my opinion, he was ridiculous. And by the way, he was top goal scorer in the Premier League at 17. Mm-hmm. That'll never ever happen ever again in English football history, in my opinion. You won't get a number 9 that could do what he done at 17. Wayne Rooney couldn't even do it. Mm-hmm. But when we're talking about Andy Robertson, for 3 years, as a Liverpool fan, wow. And it really, at the time, Marcelo may be the only other one who could challenge him. So maybe top 2. Maybe him and Marcelo possible in the prime. Yep. Yeah, we'll move on. So
I will move on. So then, Kieran Tierney, an exceptional player, but he couldn't get a game at Arsenal. And I think he got his best time at Celtic in the first spell to get him his move. I don't think we can put him up there as the best in the world.
Crippled with injuries, eh?
Absolutely. But what a sensational left back he was.
Very good.
But I don't think we can put him up in that bracket. Now here's an interesting one. Obviously we're talking about youth football. Ben Gannon-Doak.
Yeah, I think that's a mental one.
I
think that's mental for his words even been mentioned amongst world-class players right now.
Yeah. So
he's too young, Tammy.
Aye. The thing for me, when you're looking at current top players in the world that are forward wingers, Salah, Vinny Jr., Lamine Yamal, Bukayo Saka, you're talking, he's not pushing any of them out the road right now.
No.
He's got potential beyond belief.
Who knows what his potential is?
Yes, but right now I don't think we can put him in the bracket of these superstars, because you've obviously got Dembele at Barcelona as well, at PSG.
Mate, he played a season at Middlesbrough in the Championship last season. Let's calm down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't starting in the Prem last season. He is now.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't last season. And Liverpool seen something in him, because when he left Celtic, when they paid the compensation fee for him, they seen something in him. But he couldn't break into. He couldn't push aside Mo Salah. So how can you be counted as world class if the person in his team, he couldn't even become a starter in that?
Where we've got to be careful though is the boy who's got the potential,
100%
potential to oust these players.
The one who's got the most potential for me in Scotland is Billy Gilmour. I think Billy Gilmour could be sensational, because he's everything I see in a midfielder. He can tackle, he can drive, he can pass. I don't know whether he's a 6 or an 8. I think he's got everything.
It's a goal scoring thing though, isn't it?
I know, but is he judged on that?
No, he's not judged on that, and it's a different.
Because Rodri doesn't score goals and he's top. So if you want him, if I was in charge of Billy Gilmour's career, I'm not qualified to be in charge of Billy Gilmour's career, but if I was, I'd say to Billy, what's your strengths? And I think his strengths is getting on the ball and release it and keeping. He's busy. Mm-hmm. He's a really busy centre midfielder. He's got a bit of nastiness as well, eh?
Possession dominant. Possession
and Chelsea seen that when he left from Rangers, so.
Aye. So, then we had some historical selections.
Yeah.
Historical selections regarding Paul Lambert, because he won the European Cup, Champions League with Dortmund. But I don't think he pushes Hagi, Zidane, Deschamps, Seedorf or Prozinecki. They five, I'm not saying they five were the best at that era, at that time, but it doesn't push them out the door.
Again, another top player.
But an amazing player, and brilliant for Scotland to get people to achieve such things.
If we're going off our definitions, he's not in the world class bracket, eh?
Aye, but some player, absolutely some player. Hot debate regarding Ali McCoist. World class goal scorer. Would you put him ahead of Baggio, Del Piero, Shearer, Bergkamp, Romario, Vialli or Van Basten?
That's some shout, isn't it? I think he's up there.
But he's got 2 golden boots back to back.
I know.
So
he's up there.
So we've got to look at the definition.
Yeah.
Got to look at the definition. But I don't think he can oust these players. Mo Johnson went to Rangers, obviously, and he couldn't get ahead of Mo Johnson or Mark Gately. But what a player, what a goal scorer.
Oh. And probably the greatest of all time, arguably for Scotland as goal scorer. Dennis Law as well. But arguably the greatest for Scotland.
Yep. So that's an argument. I would suggest that Andy Goram's probably in the mix regarding top 5. So 5 goalkeepers. At his era, we went Schmeichel, Kahn, Van der Sar, Seaman and Buffon. Mm-hmm. I would say he's probably in the mix there. So if you were to list 6, Goram's in your 6. I don't know who he pushes out of that. Cause
do you reckon goalkeepers get the credit?
No chance.
They don't, eh?
No.
Because if you look at the ones, if you look at 90s goalkeepers, you were blown away by it, weren't you?
Yeah. Aye.
The standard was out of this world. Every national team as well had a really strong goalkeeper, didn't he?
Yep. Prominent.
You Casillas.
Prominent figure.
Casillas, Gordon, Seaman, Kahn. You've just named them all. Oh my, like these were worldies, by the way. Like worldy goalkeepers.
So, and that's, you're not talking about some of the South Americans and all that sort of stuff.
Him that done the mad scorpion kick. Colombia, remember him? What's his name?
Rene Higuita.
Is that what it is?
Rene Higuita, 1994 mental, at Wembley.
Yeah, mental.
So I think Goram's in the mix. How we define that, putting him in the top 5 or top 6, I think he's in the mix for me. because of what I witnessed. Hansen and Souness, talk about them. Remember, Alec Ferguson didn't take Alan Hansen to the 1986 World Cup. There was an issue with Dalglish was injured, and Ferguson didn't take Hansen for some reason. I don't understand. I can't remember why, but that was an issue. Mark Brennan, my work, told me that, and I looked it up, and it was absolutely spot on info. But Hansen, in his career, won 6 Premier Leagues.
Everton. Domestically and European.
I think it was, let me see, I've got this information here. It is...
He done a few doubles at Liverpool.
Aye, so I'm sure it was 2 or 3 European Cups and umpteen domestic trophies as well.
He won a few doubles, yeah.
So he was an outstanding ball-playing centre-back, and I think he goes into the mix at that era with the top 5. You've got Graham Souness, who also enters the fray as a Liverpool captain under Dalglish and Hansen. Mental how good that was and what Scotland produced at that era then.
I'll hold my hands up with the Souness one. I got that wrong, because he was at the top of his game for a long, long time. For a long time. And what he'd done at Liverpool was out of this world, and he wasn't just a dogged midfielder who'd go through people. He could do a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think he does get the credit. So he is in the bracket for me. Well, if you named off the players that he was around at the time, I still think he's up there.
Yeah.
He was that good. So he's one that we did miss.
Yep. And I'll come back to it in a wee second, just why we're going to talk about that. But the Paul McStay entered the fray. An unbelievable player for Celtic. Unbelievable. Cap for Scotland at 18. Career 14, 15 years long, playing at the top level, probably in a poor Celtic team.
And I think that's a great way of putting it, because I think that's similar to the Steven Gerrard, because it is early years. When he broke in, they were strong. And then your late 90s and to mid 2000s, Liverpool were really poor. But he was a standout. And that's why I put him in the world class. I don't think anyone can argue with me on Steven Gerrard being world class. I think it's impossible.
Yeah. So McStay probably doesn't get the credit he deserves for being in the sort of relatively poor time for Celtic, poor team at the time for Celtic. But as he, and we'll look at the players that's kicking around, and I know he went through sort of early 80s to sort of early 90s, late 90s. Zidane, Maradona, Mateus, Hullet, Platini, etc. So there's the sort of type of player at the time where these players were being compared against as this world-class bracket, as we say. Probably can't put them in the same bracket, but again, we're talking about exceptional football players.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's not a long list, and we're talking, if we're saying Souness and Hansen's in the bracket with Dalglish, they probably chucked it early 80s. Why are we 40 years later no talking about anybody else in the same sort of mould or bracket? Why are we not getting anybody else in there? I'll give you an example of levels to the game, and this is just going a wee bit off topic, but Celtic played Bayern Munich in Peter Grant's testimonial 22nd of January 1997.
You are a fossil.
Absolutely. So I was 16-year-old and I was playing with Queen's Park the night before it, and Peter Grant and Tommy Burns brought a Celtic reserve team up to Lesser Hampden, and it was Queen's Park reserves, or a Queen's Park select, let's say, versus a Celtic select for just warm up for this game the next night at Celtic Park. I was promoted into this select team, me and a boy called Fergus Tiernan. He was a right wing back. He eventually signed with Aberdeen. I'm sure, don't know much after that, but really good player. We were put into that team. Played first half against Peter Grant and Tommy Burns. 3 touches of the ball, maximum. What I can remember. But you're in awe because you cannot get near them.
Can't lay a glove on them.
The blind-sided running, unbelievable. Don't think it can be coached, to be honest with you. I think it's just something that if you're playing in the system, you need to learn naturally. But but very encouraging for them. Oh, that was a great pass. You got there like nice that. And quick, and they were coaching you through the game, sort of thing. And you think to yourself, this guy's the Celtic manager at the time, retired, unbelievable. Peter Grant's just about to walk out in front of 60,000 people the next night, and you're in the same pitch. So when you talk about levels to the game and these world-class players and things like that, we're not putting them in brackets, but geez, we have some level to go from. Me at under 16s there, trying to achieve that sort of, replicate what they're doing, but they then have another level or levels again to get to. So,
and every story you hear about Tommy Burns, it's just some man, wasn't he? Everyone see what you said about him, saying to a young boy, listen son, you're doing well there. That goes such a long way, man.
Nearly got there.
I know,
nearly got there.
There's just dust behind him.
Every time. You were good there. You nearly got there.
That's a good story, by the way. I like that.
So let's see where that goes, because that seemed to be the hottest topic of conversation. But we'll move on, and we're obviously here to talk about the youth football. And we had a great bit of interaction and question from Ian from Renfrew Vicks. He reached out and asked us a question about, he thought we focused predominantly on an advanced session and what an advanced session would look like. But we invited him, we extended an invite to him, and he came down last night and he watched our advanced pro youth boys, as well as our team and the group. He came down and watched what happened there, and I was fortunate enough that I could spend 20 minutes with him going through things while yourself and Elliot were doing your stuff. Tell me what's different about a development or intermediate session compared to the advanced session that you're thinking about, that you've detailed, sorry.
The setup's the same. The setup won't really change. I don't really think there's a need to go too crazy with an advanced session, an adult session or a development session. The session plan will look the same. It will all have the same theme. You'll have ball mastery, passing and receiving, and then opposed practice, however you want to make that look. Last night was a bit different because we introduced aerial work on top of it. It was a grid drill. We made it up. We tried to put the one-to-one aspect. So I do one-to-ones. There's a lot of aerial work. So we tried to spin that into a group, and can we introduce something on the floor, something in the air, and then a change of direction? We achieved that, and it was an excellent session. I thought the boys were magic. In terms of making that a development session, you need to remove some parts of it. So I don't think there's anything wrong if you're working with beginners or low intermediate, if you want to call them that as well, of just keeping the ball on the ground and having the ball by the feet. Get into an area, get out of an area, and give them prompts. You mentioned it last episode, a prompt of, can it be a sideways skill of some kind? And let them do what they want. Can they do a step over? A step over is probably the basic one to start with.
I think you've got to help them though and demonstrate these skills as well. So is it?
If you can't demo, limit what you're going to teach them, because I think that if you can't perform the skill, I wouldn't teach that to a child, because it'd be the wrong information you're giving them if you can't perform it yourself. It'd be hard to speak about the skill and not show them.
Well, I went a bit crazy on Monday and tried to do that thing that one of the boys done at the camp, the bouncing over. And I tripped over myself.
That's
so
all
these
right.
boys are technically unbelievable when we're trying to do things, bounce the ball into the deck and over the head. Unreal.
So the development side of it, don't lose the head on it. If they're struggling to get the pass, just have a normal square ball. And if you want to make it, I don't know, if you want to make it a 10-foot pass, at least you're working on the release. And then the person who's receiving it, at least they're working on the touch. So if I was a beginner player, and the coach is telling me, you just need to release that ball and then follow your pass into the next direction. So you've got movement involved. And then the guy who's receiving it, you could maybe say to him, can you touch out left or right? So you're working on his left foot and his right foot, and it's disguised. It's disguised coaching points, that you're giving these kids. You don't have to go crazy with it. You don't even need advanced players to teach that.
Well, he was saying what he couldn't believe is the amount of time on the ball everybody had, and there was very limited rest. Yeah, which I was trying to explain to him. It was a transition for me coming to you, and I think you've had this philosophy since your coaching started. everybody must fall in love with the ball, and everybody's got time on that ball and as much time as possible on the ball. I made a few mistakes previously in my grassroots club. Two lines of 10, shout numbers in, two boys going at it 1v1, and the boys loved it and it was great, and it's summer's night, fantastic. But then there's 18 boys no doing anything.
So where's the development?
Where's their development?
Yeah, you're right.
So that for me is a great example of, let's get this sorted out, because I think, because I'm 30 years since my youth, 40 years since my youth, but I'm using the same techniques at coaching. Well, I was using the same techniques as what I learned as a youngster.
But I've been exposed, Tam. I've been exposed to different coaching techniques. I was fortunate to be invited down to Sunderland. I've seen what they do down there. This is a Category 1 academy in England. It blew my mind. They have 2-man queues. And I'm like, where do they get the rest? They don't. They don't get the rest.
Yeah.
You will be working at the highest intensity as possible, but it's safe. And it blew my mind. I don't agree with queuing. 4-man queue is enough for me.
Definitely.
And we spoke about, I don't want to go on about it because we spoke about last episode.
I know.
A 4-man queue is enough.
So it was great to have Ian down, and we extend that invite. Just get in touch if anybody wants to just have a different view and see how. And by the way, we might not have it right, and we just need to qualify that we might not have this right, but it'd be good to have the discussion.
But it works.
We feel that it works.
Yeah.
We feel that it works. And he mentioned shooting drills as well in the queuing of that, but I've always says to him, we'll need to get a wee bit of interaction with a couple of passes so we've not got these deep queues. So that was a thing. Okay, moving on.
It's nice to see you're organised.
Question. What helps and what hinders, and how do you positively support the player's journey? That was a question for a parent.
In terms of, is there an age on this, no?
Nah, I think it's just generally, what is the parent's approach to things? What helps and what hinders as a parent? And how do you positively support the player's journey?
I like that. It's a good question. And I think it's a different answers to it, because it's not one shoe fits all. But removing negativity would be the first bit of advice, because as a parent that I've discussed in the last episode, it didn't work.
Why did you feel like that to start with? Why did you feel on that card journey with Joy that we spoke about? Why did you feel silence was the best option? How were you feeling at the time? And
because I was emotional. Because I wanted my son to be given every opportunity to go and become a professional football player. That was in my head. I thought that was possible. But what I didn't realise through selfishness and blinkered views, if you like, is that he didn't want to become a professional football player. I wanted him to. He didn't. So I live with that now. And my relationship with my son now is fantastic.
So to summarise that, you think you became a better father, even though there's been...
I became a better coach as well. Because of now, my emotional intelligence is through the roof. I'm very confident now on how I speak and approach people, because I lacked a little bit of empathy with my own son at the time. I'm so proud to admit that I became a better dad now.
Yep.
And I became a better coach because of my actions. Now, the silence, in my opinion, was the best option, because at the moment I was heated in my head and I didn't want to say anything that'd upset him. But on the flip side, the silence upset him anyway. The silence upset him anyway, because he knew that his dad wasn't happy. He didn't have to please me, Tam. He doesn't have to. No child should ever have to please the parent.
So we did get a lot of feedback regarding that, and it was great to hear the honesty that we've all, and some of the quotes that were coming in was, we've all been there, feel your pain, and it's taking that emotional side post-match is probably the key. Take that away and sort of neutralise it, and that's, I feel I do that really well, and I think we're going to come on to it about the player, the coach and parent scenario. That's a
hardest job in grassroots football.
That's a difficult thing, and I will get to it. But my philosophy is that we take the heat right out of everything. Done great today, mate. done well. No need to analyse immediately post match. And then our approach is, mind that tackle you done. What a pass, what a combination the team done. What a goal for so and so. What a X, Y, and Z. And then go, mind that guy ran off you. How could we fix that a wee bit?
I'll stop you there.
Go on.
You nailed it. Because you've empowered him. You've empowered him to give you the answer. Because you could have sat there, mate, as a man that's been in the game for 30 odd years, right? And said, this is what you should have done. You've lost him there, bang. Because he thinks you're having a go with him. You're not. But he thinks you're having a go with him because you've picked him apart. If you empower him and say, what do you think of that? Did you see that guy that ran off the back of the number 9? What do you think you could have done? Or maybe my body shape could have been better, Dad, and I could have showed him out wide. Bang. He knows the answer. Don't tell him. So you've nailed that. That is well put, because you have empowered him to give you the correct answer, because they do know the answer.
And we talk about all the time, if it's touch, pass, positioning, decision, any of the above, then, as you say, the player will probably know.
They will know.
The player will know.
Especially if they're coached correctly, they will know.
And we'll get to the coaching parenting situation.
Conundrum, should we call it?
Just shortly. Just shortly. How do you, as a parent, get your child into grassroots youth football? How do you do it? How does anybody get their child involved in football?
I was a late starter with it with Joey and my eldest Ryan. I was late. I think they were 5 or 6. I think a lot of people now are in like 18 months, aren't they? They do them little mini kicker classes. What I'd say is, see around the house, see them little foam balls you used to get?
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of just getting them in it. And then from there, if they are showing a keen interest and they always want the ball by the feet, I'd just go to a local club. I don't think you have to travel the world to get them into football. I think you just find a grassroots club and get them in. I don't think you need to go and play privately.
No.
Nowadays they're starting really young, aren't they? What's it, under 5s is the youngest age group now?
Is that Fun 4s?
In fact, Fun 4s. There's a 2021 age group, I'm sure.
So 4-year-old?
4-year-olds.
And the earlier the better, isn't it?
With everything. Not just football, with anything.
My boy was a late starter post-COVID, and he only got into football because his cousin was gone, and it was local community club that got in contact and pitched up and accepted us, and it was great. But I think there's a real struggle. I think if face-to-face contact's really important. I don't think a message on a social media platform to a coach or an email address, it's going to fall on deaf ears.
But how do you that's how you do get them through the front door though, isn't it? Because you're not just going to rock up to a pitch one day and say, "Can my boy join in?" You'd need to.
Why no?
Well, would you allow it in our team? Someone just rocked up?
No, in our team, no.
Imagine that.
No.
A bit mental.
No.
But the only way of doing it is through Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, whatever else.
Oh, here's another thing for you. So we did the 1v1 session this Sunday, and it's the tiny tots, as I call them, even though they're getting big now. Say there's a player and their parent watching, and he wants to have a chat with you. There's still face-to-face contact.
No,
so
I get
go
that.
down and watch
I get that.
Go down and watch it. See if you like it. And do you think, I think he would be able to cope in there. So whether it's a local team, local park, I don't think you need to be travelling big distances to get involved. And if there's a keen desire for the child to get into football and they're showing a real passion to kick a ball about, basically, I think it's
get them in.
Get them in as
get them exposed to it early.
Quickly as possible. So next one, how do you select the correct environment then? So we're saying rock up, local team, 5-6-year-old, whatever it is. How do you select the correct environment for your child?
Yeah, if it's the first ever team, I don't think there's wrong with going to any club that's nearby, because they will be able to facilitate your needs at your current level. And you won't be a worldie, will you? Because it's your first ever team. So you will be put in with the development group, which is great. That's what you want. It should be fun, and hopefully there's loads of ball time. Hopefully everyone's got a ball. You know, that's my pet hate.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone's got a ball. So any local team's fine, in my opinion. And then that's how you select your first environment. You'll know pretty soon if they're enjoying it. Is the coaches fun? Are the coaches approachable? Are the good kids? That's a big one, isn't it? If the group that they enter, and there's some kids in there that maybe have an attitude problem, which is a common thing in football, maybe that isn't the right environment. But I don't think you need to worry too much about the environment at a young age.
Okay.
It's first steps as they progress through the system. That's when you need to start looking at environment.
So,
give me an example.
If you've got a player that you feel is an advanced player, and playing at the community club has only got an intermediate team, maybe 2 intermediate teams, a development team, whatever. What do you do as a parent?
Yeah, well, he needs moved. He moved. We had it. I'll use Joey as the example. Is that I was struggling for the team. And then he joined the team you were at and came over to you. And then I messaged, that was the first connection we'd had, really, wasn't it, properly?
Yeah.
And I said to you, listen, thanks very much for bringing him up, but I loved what you've done with him. And then he played his first game and he scored the hat-trick. I remember it very well. And the parents were saying, what a player. And I was like, he's actually not. He's playing down. He's not getting challenged. He's done really well. He's praised for it. He's done excellent. He's doing all kinds of skills I haven't seen him try before. But that's not good for his development. Because I've lowballed him a little bit. And I've sold him down the river because I'm saying, mate, you're flying there. Yeah, no wonder he's flying, because he's capable of handling it at a higher level. And that's what I said to you. The coaching's great, but he's not getting challenged. So his development will stall. Because as soon as if I kept him in that environment for too long and I exposed him to advanced level football, it'd have been a fish out of water. That's common as well. It's a really common thing, was where there's no growth, right? Being comfortable. Most growth I've had as an adult came from being really uncomfortable.
Right, well, let's look at that then. When do you decide as a parent to move your player? Because we're not supposed to judge until 7-a-side, advanced, intermediate, and development.
I think you can judge a 4-a-side.
What?
I think you can judge a 4-a-side.
So Fun Fours, you're saying that you should be picking a team that you move to advanced level?
If my boy is 5, is it Fun 4 5s, isn't it? 5-year-old?
5-year-old, sorry. Aye.
So my boy's 5, your boy's 5. Your boy's been playing since he was 2. My boy's just started kicking a ball. We're not all the same. And it's okay to be different, you know. What we're trying to do in the UK, this isn't just Scotland, by the way, this is the UK. We're trying to make everyone be the same, because we don't like to critique children. We don't like to tear them. We don't like to say, he's better than him. But if I was a swimmer, you were a swimmer, you drown and I keep swimming, I get picked for the swim team. But in football, don't you dare say that he's better than him as a child, because we're all equal. We're not all equal, Tam. If he's good at maths and my kid's not good at maths, he's not in the top class.
For the top group in the class?
It doesn't matter, because we've all got different strengths. But I'm not going to sit here, speak to the public and say we're all the same, and if he's 5-year-old, they have to play with the same group regardless of ability. That's not true.
So how do we fix that then? So how do we then identify, if you're a parent, how do you identify quickly the right environment or the right team or an advanced team? How do you do it as a parent? Because you're not in the loop same as the coaches.
You're 100% right, mate.
So how do you do it?
You'd have to go on your social media. There's nothing out there. You'd have to go on social media to see what teams are doing well through word of mouth.
Explain social media to me then. So where would a parent go for social media? So is it Instagram?
Instagram, Facebook, normally a common ones, aren't they, with teams?
Is there Facebook groups that are looking for players at certain ages?
I think there's them grassroots ones, isn't there? Grassroots Opportunities, I think it's called.
Okay,
and it'll post, I don't know, 2018's looking for players or whatever, or player looking for the team.
Right, okay.
I think word of mouth's bigger than social media. I think when we look at business, if I look at my business, I think that a lot of business does come from videos and reels, but I think it comes from word of mouth. And people say, listen, you need to get this guy in there. I think any coaching company would agree with me that it'll come from word of mouth. And if your child's had a good experience, they'll tell that to the friends. That, listen, you need to get him in, it's brilliant. They do all kinds of skills and that's fantastic. Same with teams.
So would you suggest that if your player is playing in a team and you feel that they are playing capable of playing at a higher level, then they should be moving team?
If the team
looking to search in that league, say for example,
if the current team that they're with haven't got an advanced section, I think they need to move for their own development. If they're happy playing with the friends and they don't want to get better, or the parent has no appetite for them to develop in that team, then you stay.
I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. But how do you know the player's hungry at 6-year-old?
Well, I don't think, Tam, you don't, do you?
You don't.
But I'd say,
but as a parent, are you doing them a disservice? Are you doing them a disservice? But then I think the parent...
is it a child's choice at 6, though? Or is it the parent's choice to give the child the best opportunity to get better? Whose choice is that? Because
it can't be a 6-year-old.
Exactly. So it's the parent's choice. So if I was a parent and I want my child to get better and they're showing signs of early technical development where they look, do you know what, you're a good little player. Mm-hmm. And I want them to get better, but the group they're with now is the strongest player and he can't get any better in that group and the other players are some distance behind, I'm moving.
Yep. So that would be search for a team in a similar league that you can identify. So that's you just looking with your eyes. Yeah. Where's the best place to go? Spend a bit of time and do it. Mm-hmm. Don't necessarily take it for granted that there's somebody's told you something. Don't get me wrong, you need to explore that, but watching it.
Go and watch
it. So that was interesting there about how to get your kid into football and then progressing. What's your opinion on playing a year up?
It's got its benefits, hasn't it?
Physical development, isn't it? That's what I feel.
Oh, say my word on it again.
Go on.
If they're shining at their own age group and they're the strongest in the group, they're doing ridiculous things in their league and they're the strongest probably in their team and everything else, then possibly move them up. But can they handle it physically? Can they handle it physically? Because there's a lot to be said. I've done this. I played my boy a year up. But
how did you find that, playing him a year up?
It was no different. Because I didn't play him up a year and match the tier. I played him in a lower tier, but a year up. So technically, the 2014s and the 2013s were identical. The only difference was the 2013s had 18 months on my boy. So they were stronger, bigger, faster. There was nothing else. They weren't technically better. So technically, I didn't see any difference. So he didn't gain anything from it. So playing a year up's definitely got its benefits.
Why did you do that?
Because I thought it'd give him that physicality test.
Okay.
And at the time, we were living in Helensburgh. And his team at Helensburgh weren't particularly strong. They didn't have an advanced group. I was running it. And we left. So I put him into a similar local team, but a year up to test him. Technically, he was good as the others, but he wasn't fast, he wasn't stronger. Okay. So he got the physicality element, but he didn't gain nothing from it, in my opinion.
So you for or against it?
I'm for if they're stronger than their own age group.
So if let's put that into context then, so if you have a player that's playing at advanced level, pre-academy, let's say, advanced level and tearing it up, put them a year up.
Well, we've got them in our age group. We've got boys playing a year up now. Mm-hmm. I think the parents will agree it's a task for them physically, but technically they're fine. They can handle it, and they're playing advanced year up, and they were both in the academy system, so they've had the technical exposure. They've also played 2014s weekly as part of a games program at their academy, so they're used to the physicality. It's definitely a test. So there's definitely got its benefits, Tom.
But then, do you have the fear of if it's too much for them?
Yeah, well, that's a problem. And what's the end goal anyway? What my reason was physicality. I don't think that's every parent's reason.
I just think you're trying to speed the process up, to be honest.
Same, but what's the rush? Because if they're good enough, they'll get picked up.
Mm-hmm. At their own age group.
People need to realise that, by the way. You ain't going to get picked up by playing up here. It'll be difficult. It'll be hard to get picked up playing to get up unless you're fantastic.
With a boy for Auburn that get picked up, but didn't he? And he was playing a year up.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
we digress.
Let's. Do you agree with trials?
Yes.
Why? Because,
like I said before, we're not all the same. We do trials. When I started that team up, we done a trial. Because my pitch was, I'm going into an advanced league. So it was 7-a-side at the time. I can't have 8 advanced players and 1 development player. Because what people need to realise in the game at 7-a-side, if one player isn't at that level or is quite a way off that level, you have no chance.
Advanced teams will eat you up.
They'll eat you up. Where at 5-a-side, we've seen it, the little guys playing, you got one Weldy in your team and you win every week. I hate Weldy. If you've got one very
Strong
good player,
player,
he will eat it up and you'll dribble around everyone scoring a little mini goal. But at 7s, if you've got one player who's not particularly strong and he's playing advanced level football, trying to match the rest, you'll get eaten alive.
In the big pitch.
Seen it. People pass around you. Have you seen the top? You know, the top teams in Scotland, the 2014s, Glasgow's caked in top advanced
top
level,
talent,
and
yeah.
I mean top. You got a Tory Glen on this Sunday. Wow.
Well, there's
Wow.
teams in Edinburgh as well. Mate.
Yeah, Edinburgh. We had it. We've been humbled off one.
We got humbled recently.
We got humbled heavily off a team from Edinburgh. So
I think there's talent out there, mate.
Same.
Especially the age group that the team that I take, and I think there's real talent in Scotland. There's
sorry, see the trial thing. So
yeah,
I went off topic.
That's fine.
There needs to be levels to the system, doesn't there? So there has to be progression levels, so advanced, intermediate. There has to be them, because when we played, we never had advanced. When we played, if you weren't good enough, you never got a game. So everyone's getting a game because we've tiered it. So don't be afraid if your boy or girl is at development level right now. That's not, who cares where they are right now? Are they enjoying it? Brilliant. There's ticking the box done. The rest is just add-ons. And if you're in the right environment, like what we said, and the coaches are good and it's a friendly environment, and it's an honest, transparent club, you will develop through there. And then the next step's intermediate. And then advanced.
Let me counter you there. So Joey probably enjoyed playing with me at intermediate level. Then you wanted to challenge him. Do you think Joey wanted challenged at the same time?
Yeah.
It was probably at the right time, age.
I think he was mature enough to deal with the challenge. I think if you'd done that too young...
Did you have that conversation with him?
Yeah. Well, and what I'd say was like, how did you enjoy it? Yeah, I loved it, I'd done skills and that's when brilliant, mate. And I used to say, what do you think about coming... Well, he used to do that group session.
Would you think of Tom?
Yeah, what do you think of Tom? He's a bit of a sausage. Yeah. But no, he loved it. Obviously, that's why you were invited into us.
Yeah.
Because he respected you heavily. As a coach and as a dad, he's in that father aspect.
What age do you think it's worth having the conversation? Look, do you want to take a step up? If you think they're capable, and if they think they're capable, you have that conversation.
There's no age, Tom, because it's all personal. Again, it's not one shoe fits all. I keep saying.
But so if we go at
9, maybe
6-year-olds, the parents is the parents making but then you get a 7-year-old.
Tom, I think it's always the parents' decision. As long as the kid's on board, right? I know you're going to counter that and say the kid needs a voice. He does need a voice, or she needs a voice. Mm-hmm. But they're still a child.
No, I know. I get that.
Like. I think the parent will always know best for their nurturing the child. Mm-hmm. But I think the kid says, no, I'm happy where I am. Brilliant. But if they've got an appetite to go in the system, they need to move. That's what Joey did have an appetite to go into the academy. And he knew it because he was playing with them weekly in the group session. So he's seen what they were getting. He's seen the trips down into England and stuff. He's seen all that and he wanted a bit of it. But he didn't want it enough that he wanted me to keep harping on about it, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Here's a controversial question. Do you think parents compare players when finding a team? Do they look and judge players?
Yeah.
So they are. Do you think that's the right thing? Need to?
I don't think you should.
You need to. I think if you're looking for a new club, you need to judge how good the team is.
I know, but I don't agree with grading your child against another child. Because I think that can cause a bit of noise, and that does happen a lot. Like, why would you try and... So if my boy's a finisher and your boy's a defender, It's horses for courses. They're different players completely, man.
Yep.
So you can't judge them. They're not the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like that time. I don't like when they try and compare the boy against another boy. It makes me cringe a little bit, to be honest.
I think they can be too critical at times. I think parents are overly critical at times. Overly critical.
Yeah, to their own child, and then they're obviously naturally overprotective of them when someone else says something.
Yes.
That happens. That's normal.
So we'll go on to the coaching, parent-coach role. Obviously, I'm heavily involved in that. You've been in that role. Tell me about your experiences of the coaching as a parent, and I'll give you mine in a wee minute.
I never found it difficult as a parent coach because I've always had that persona that I'll handle whatever's thrown at me, and people probably don't realise the pressures that come with that parent coach. It's heavy pressure. I never used to worry about what people would think about me coaching my own son, because there was always that honesty with me. It's like, if you think you can add value to this group, then you're more than welcome to jump in and help with me and make it better if you think you can give value to it. But I'd always back myself as a coach that I was never biased towards my own boy. So if anyone ever thought like, oh, Joey's getting extra game time, he never got extra game time.
I think it works in the reverse. I think you're so conscious. Well, me personally, overly conscious about opinion and what's happening in the background. So
can you explain what you have to do as a parent coach? Because I don't think people actually know that. If you break down a few things, not all of it, just a few.
The big thing is you need to keep your player on side. Now, what I mean by that is, if you lose them in any shape or form by them going, do you know what? I've had enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to play. I'm sick of it. It's this, it's that, blah, blah, blah. What do I then do? I am now in a position where I am giving up all my family time with my son, no playing. I've made a commitment to that team. Can you just walk away from that?
Well, I never walked away.
But you can't. You can't because you've got this commitment. You've got this commitment to this team, these players, these parents who've bought into everything that you're doing. So you need your son on side because he needs to come along for the journey. If you lose that along the way, I don't think people realise that it's such a fine line at times. I'm in a really positive situation right now. My boy's a ball playing centre back, doing really, really well, really consistent, 7, 8 out of 10 all the time. Fantastic. Never always been like that. However, he's developed into that. Great. But my heart's in my mouth because if he's dribbling around a centre forward in his 18-yard box, and I'm nervous.
Yeah, right.
And everybody's looking at you going, geez, what's he doing there? And then something comes off, he makes a defence split, a splitting pass through the midfield because he's took somebody on and he's took 3 out of the game with that pass, and you go, it's a relief rather than a celebration.
It is. But you were given freedom where you are now with us. You're allowed to do that. We give freedom. So previously, if that happened, and without every club's got this ethos, don't they? You've got the ethos to put up about what they want their club to look like. I told you how I wanted it run, and it'll be pure expression, development. There'll be no messing about. There's discipline, because it's everything I wish I had as a child to take me to another level. We've gave this environment where you are given the freedom as a coach who runs that team. It's not my team, it's your team, and you dictate what you do within the boundaries of what we set. You were given that free pass. So now your son's excelled from being allowed to express himself, and if he makes a mess of it in the score, who cares?
No, but I think there's a pressure on you as a coach because there's other parents' eyes on you. Why is he playing? Why is he doing this? Why is he getting more game time? Why is this? Why is that? And they questions might not actually be there. It might be imposter syndrome. It might be whatever it is. But I feel a pressure on that. Just constantly, you're constantly thinking about things. Constantly thinking about the next thing. What's the car journey home like? Positive. Need him next to me all the time. Need them there. Otherwise, nah, I'm not going to training. What do you mean you're not going to training? I need to go to training.
I know. Yeah, it's tough.
And everybody's in. Everybody's in. So that's a role and something that just individuals need to sort of manage. And I don't think people realise the ins and outs of it, and the dynamics, unless you're in that situation yourself. And it's worth noting that. So it was very, very interesting when just to flow for that, very interesting when I came over to you and you says, I'll be making every big decision. We'll discuss it, but I'll have the final say on things, and any hard conversation that need to be had, then I'll be having them. And I went, right, okay. Grassroots clubs, I think there's multiple opinions. So nobody wants to be I'm the head guy, or I want to be I think there's too many opinions at times, and there's this sort of grey area where it maybe everybody knows the right thing to do would be to move a player on if there was a disagreement, or if there was disruption or something like that. Then they've got to go through the process of child welfare officer and all these sort of things. Whereas with yourself, you're one shoe fits all, and you're all of those multiple roles. And we've obviously got other people in the background doing things, but you says I'll make the final decision. And I saw that as a real relief, rather than having to do that and be involved in these decisions, these hard decisions.
I never had a problem with that awkward conversation. Never ever have a problem with speaking out and making a call that might not sit too well and to be uncomfortable face to face, because I've learned that I used to try and appease people, and that you won't do it. Not just football, in any walk of life. You can't just appease people for the sake of it. I've made hard decisions, so many hard decisions, but I've followed it through because I think it's for the best in whatever that situation was, you know.
Best for the, let's say it's
if it's football related,
player moving on, for example. Best for the player, best for the group, the rest of the group that's
and we
there.
haven't fell out over it. No one's fell out. I've done that. We've spoke to families and said, listen, I think right now this isn't the best fit for us, the boy or the family, and I think for his development it might be best to move on because it's not the right fit. I'm okay with that, because I'd like to think that we've had that good, honest discussion and they still believe in what I'm trying to do. There's no hard feelings. I'd like to think they could pick up the phone and ask for advice.
Yeah,
I hope that's still the case. I really think
that's the cleanest way of doing it. But I think multiple views sometimes can get clouded, and the judgments can be sometimes, I don't know, compromised as such. Sometimes.
Do you know why I think that is? Because see, football, it's the most opinionated thing in the United Kingdom, and it's because it's the most watched sport. It's easy to access. You can walk down the park and watch it, and your knowledge, if you have never played before, could be from Sky Sports, isn't it? So you could watch it, never played the game in your life, but your son or your daughter's in it, and you can give an opinion on it because you see it weekly. I don't think there's any other sport like that in the world where you could honestly give your say on it. So the parent coach is in a real predicament sometimes, because there could be someone, a mum or a dad, who's made a comment because they've seen it on telly, or they've watched a group session and made a comment like, oh, this is how I'd do it. It's hard. You need to remember these are volunteers.
Yeah.
Let them do it. And like I said, if you've got value, please jump in and help and take a bit of strain off them.
What do you think parents videoing games?
I like it if it's for the right reason. See if it's used as like a tool to celebrate the boy or the girl's success. I absolutely love that, man. There's a joy in that, isn't he? You know, like Absolutely. If your son scored a goal, there's a joy in that. And it's so natural and beautiful thing to do. I don't like it when it's used to post over social media that you won 3-2 and you're an under-10s club. Mm-hmm. That gets to me.
You're not supposed to do that.
Because there's no...
And I get the reason why the directive's there for that.
Yeah, I do. That's where the SFA have nailed that down, because they had to make it that straight down the line of don't video. But I get why people do it, because they want to celebrate success. I love that.
And track the journey a wee bit, and that brings me on to social media accounts for players. Mm-hmm. For or against social media accounts for players? Come on.
I'm for it if it's used properly.
Tell me why it would be used incorrectly. I've got an answer to that. I'm going to tell you right now. there are parents out there that think by having a social media account and putting their highlights on, a player's going to get scouted.
Well, I'll tell you that now. I've been added on Instagram of people I don't even know because they
you're
think
a scout.
Exactly. And I know what's happened to other scouts. So I'm going to say that I'm for it if it's used correctly and it's used to track the journey. If it's used to post videos to get content out there and watched, that worries me. Because I strongly believe if you are good enough, you will be picked up. There will be some that slip through the net. We've made mistakes. Andy Robertson is the best example because Celtic made a big boo-boo on him because Celtic dictated that he was not good enough. Now, I think they'd all be honest enough to say, we got that one wrong.
Yep.
Not just Celtic, there's plenty of them. Plenty of players like that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's loads of boys. Harry Kane was rejected by Arsenal. Like, people make mistakes at the heat of the moment. They have to cut a squad. He's gone because he's middle of the group. But if I'm talking about social media, be very careful what you're putting up there because sometimes it's fabricated lies as well. Mm-hmm. Where like, he was amazing today. You can tell him that. You don't need to put that on social media. You can tell him that. Mm-hmm. You don't need to put 5 goals today. Yeah, but they're all tap-ins. Be careful. Celebrate the journey of the player. Don't sell the journey of the player.
Yep, good comment.
Thank you.
Controversial again.
You're on form today, by the way.
I'm always on form, mate. Don't worry about that. Do you think parents view their kids as mini professionals and try and treat them that way?
Some do, yeah. Some do, yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think that they're overtraining? Do you think they're putting them as a social media sort of outlet? And do you know what I mean?
I think I put like a Q&A thing up the other day, right, when I was session planning.
That's where that came from, to be
and
honest.
Someone asked the question, is there such thing as like overtraining? Mm-hmm. And I said, put yourself in a child's position now. Monday to Friday, right? They're doing 6 hours of school, aren't they? They're probably sick of getting talked at.
Be careful here because my boy's out every night.
No,
every night bar a Thursday.
No, listen, this is what I'm saying, right? I'm going to say it from my point of view. The child's in there 6 hours a day getting talked at every day. And as we know, the education system's great if they are on board with it. So for me, I didn't get on with school because nothing was related to me. It was all teachers that couldn't really get me on board because the subjects weren't made to be enjoyable. So they come out of school at 3 o'clock, 3:30. Right, you got Dales tonight. If you've done that 7 days a week, where's the child aspect? Where's the playfulness, Tom? Because they can still play football without me or you shouting at them or encouraging them or directing them. They need free play. You've taken that away from them if you keep putting them in every night of the week somewhere, in my opinion. So yeah, that's a mini pro thing. Do you know what gets to me? The dieting. Dieting. Like
Putting kids on a protein high diet.
Mate, do you know what my diet was? Turkey Twizzlers, bro. Remember them? No. You never had them in Scotland, did you?
Couldn't afford them, mate.
Yeah, you had the pancakes and daft pancakes.
Crispy pancakes all day long.
But no, what I'm saying is they're still a child, eh? Mm-hmm. They're a child. And I know why they're doing it, by the way. Because they're trying to gain an edge. Mm-hmm. Get that? So if they don't do
physically develop the child more, but that's them treating them like mini pros.
Exactly. And then on the flip side of that, the extra training, you need to be careful where you're taking them. Because an extra training might look like anything. If you take them to the wrong place, the extra training could be a game of fives. What
about when we talk about diet, Lucozade?
I hate Lucozade. I hate it.
By the way, we're not our team are bad for it.
I know.
And I think that's something
I used to give it to Joey.
Need to look at.
Mate, do you know that Emerge stuff, 79 pence, scheme juice? Have you seen that? Emerge, me. And it's just got like 30 grams of sugar in it. Oh, it's great for the glucose and that. It's not. It's really bad for them, man.
Sugary water in it.
I know. But again, I never used to drink water as a kid. It's all diluting juice.
Aye, that's probably something that we should maybe get.
I don't think they're not high performing athletes at the age of 10.
No. So I always used to. I used to make a wee comment about 9 o'clock kickoffs, and it would be
Lucozade in your cornflakes.
Lucozade in the cornflakes, aye.
Spoonful Nutella.
So I think that's something that probably should be limited.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they probably don't need it. A shot at Lucasade's not gonna make them any
It's
better.
a Space Jam, you know what makes them better.
Any better. How much does a parent spend a year on football?
Wow.
Well, let's say £30-40. Let's go £40 just for let's average this, generalise it really poorly, but we'll go for it. 12 floors, 480 quid for 40 quid a month, right?
Is that for the club monthly fees?
Club monthly fees, let's call it that, right? So there's 500 off the bat. Then they've probably got, let's say, a 1-to-1, maybe weekly. There's 50 weeks. So let's say you do 40 weeks.
How much is a 1-to-1? 30 quid or something?
30 quid. That's a lot of dough, by the way.
Boots.
40 of them, that's 1,200 quid.
Boots.
1,200 quid on top of your 500, roughly. And
Shin pads.
Couple of pair of boots.
And they're all
two, maybe three.
And they're all wearing the best, aren't they, eh?
But they all wear the £40 shin pads.
Yeah.
The G-forms.
I hate them, by the way. I hate them. Do you know why? No one puts the socks over them apart from us. Get your socks over them G-forms, man.
I know, but all the socks are designed to do that now, aren't they?
I know, it kills me off. Grip socks.
So you've got that. Don't talk to me about grip socks. So you've got your 1-to-1, your club fees, shin pads, boots, your additional kit, Under Armour. You're now talking in the region of what, £2,000? Let's say you're a multi-child family.
Mm-hmm.
There's £4,000, £6,000 of your salary gone.
Yeah.
Depends, obviously. That's us generalising things, but that's a load of dough. Do you think you get that sort of money spent on you away back in the day?
Nah.
I think it was £1 or £2 to pay for your training and £1 or £2 for your game.
I love a statement, right? I think it'd be really difficult to become a professional football player now if your family aren't wealthy. Because I don't think that you're getting what you need just from team training in Scotland.
Some statement.
I know, and I'm not even trying to get it for the clicks. I'm being serious. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're doing enough in terms of coaching that you need to actually pay out that money now. It's scary.
That's crazy. Anyway, there's a few things that I would love to keep going on it. I'm going to actually throw them out there. This might be for the clicks.
Quick fire.
Aye, quick fire, very quickly. Last 60 seconds. Do you think it would be good for referees at 5-a-sides?
Yeah, take the pressure away.
7-a-sides?
I'd start them at 5s all the way up, take the pressure away from the coaches.
Maybe
make
get
decisions.
school kids to do it, something like that.
Yeah, good for leadership.
On a referee pathway. Then, do you think development players should have another period of time at 5-a-sides with shorter spaces rather than going to 7-a-sides? How do you view that? I think I would be all for that, because if you're going to 7-a-sides, you need 10 of a squad. I would go against the 2 5-a-sides, shorten the pitch.
I'm not for or against that, actually.
Bigger goals.
I think it might work.
Bigger goals.
I think bigger goals, definitely.
Yeah. And then what I'm going to ask every council in Scotland is, why don't you make AstroTurf pitches big enough in width and length to quarter them rather than thirden them? There you go.
There you go.
And that'll be that.
Very good.
Good session, mate. Well done.
I enjoyed that.
Cheers.
Well done, mate.